All right, well, we are gonna get going. So I'm gonna do the call to order for the EDC meeting on Tuesday, August 12th, 2025 at 6:30 PM. This meeting is being recorded by the Economic Development Committee. If any other person present are doing the same, we must notify the chairperson at this time. And nobody's recording. I just want to do a mic check. Counselor Gordon, can you hear us all right?
Yep, you're good. Thanks.
Thank you. All right, moving on. This should be a nice quick one for everybody tonight. Roll call members. I am here. Counselor Mastrotero. Here. And Counselor Gordon.
Here.
So we have a quorum. Approval of minutes, July 8th, 2025, page 3. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Second, okay. And we're gonna have to do a roll call because the remote. So we'll do a quick roll call vote. Counselor Gordon,
Yes.
Counselor Mastrotero,
Yes.
and I am a yes as well. Approved minutes. All right, public comment at this time. Nobody's here, and we have no public comment, which is probably the first time in 8 months. Public hearings, we don't have any tonight. And then, so we're gonna move on to motions. So we have 2 motions on the table tonight. Both are about land donations. So I'm gonna read the first motion and then we'll discuss and then we'll move on to the second motion. This is order number FY 2026-019. The city council move that be ordered that the Greenfield City Council accepts the land donation of Randall M. Golly and Shirley Young on parcel R37-57-0 to the Greenfield Conservation Commission for conservation purposes and transferred said property to the Conservation Commission to be named the Conti Golly Conservation Area. And I believe if I could just get a motion and a second, we could go into conversation. And a second?
Second.
Thank you. So I reviewed this. There was a quick memo from the planning board sent out yesterday, just kind of explaining this a little more. So tonight on our agenda, we just have 2 parcels, but it looks like a third parcel is kind of waiting on some more information. Does anybody have any questions on this, concerns? We have Travis Drury here from the Conservation Commission. If you wanted to say anything to him, you could come up to the table, Travis, if you want, or you could stay there. Okay. Anybody have any questions for Travis?
I guess I just have the question, and I apologize for not having read the memo today. But, is there any downside to the city accepting this donation? In your opinion, Travis? Obviously, it's not a legal opinion, but just curious what you think.
Yeah, really the only downside is a reduction in tax income. But I believe because these are like forested parcels, they probably aren't paying much in taxes on them anyway. So I don't have those numbers in front of me, but I think that was something the mayor.
It wasn't a packet.
About. Was it? Okay. I haven't seen your packet, so I don't know.
Yeah, I think there was the assessor's card on the lots. Yeah. Somewhere in here.
That's the only downside I'm aware of because, the one parcel accesses Shelburne Road, it abuts Shelburne Road, but there's really like not good access to like build a house or anything because there's a deep gully and a stream right where the road is. And the other 2 parcels don't even have road access.
Mm-hmm.
If we're talking about all 3 of them.
Are there any foot trails through there presently?
I don't believe there are any foot trails currently, other than maybe some, like deer trails or whatever.
Yeah, that was one of my questions is now, the cons. I know that the people hunt up there.
Mm-hmm.
Now, would this restrict that?
Yeah, so the
I'm not a hunter.
Yeah.
One or the other, but
The conservation land is all, the Conservation Commission has a set of rules for conservation land. And one of the rules is that there's no hunting on conservation land. That is something that in some towns, they do allow hunting, I think, and those rules can be changed by a majority vote of the Conservation Commission. So, at some point that could change, but as of right now, the rules would restrict hunting.
Um, are, are there any like big picture plans for the parcel or like mountain biking trails? Like kind of like Highland Park, is that kind of the idea down the road, or is it just going to be remain conservation and people can just leisurely stroll through as they want?
Yeah, to the best of my knowledge at the moment, there's no big plans for developing it more. The deed as written would allow conservation and passive recreation. So passive recreation would not be restricted, but currently there wouldn't be any, trails or anything. And I know the Conservation Commission is hoping to work more with the Open Space Task Force. They're sort of, they've been kind of spearheading the efforts on like where to conserve land and, how to better access land. And so I think that's going to be like a partnership going forward, because the Conservation Commission does have a lot of permitting stuff separate from managing the conservation land.
Yeah, I think anytime you could get land like this, which it's not the best land to build on, is it possible? Probably, but if you could get a donation like this from somebody and you can keep as many trees safe as possible, even from solar developments, because that's the big thing right now. They're cutting down forestry for solar. So, this is a great green space for Greenfield.
On a side note, the only property card on is the one on my city road.
That's the only one. I thought I saw one in there, but I'm sure the tax is very minimal on that property. Any other questions?
Pulling up the property card right now.
I'm gonna pull up the property card.
Well, where did that go? R 37570.
Yep.
It says assessed values land $966. So I don't know what the taxes are on that per year, but
Very minimal, yeah.
I wish I could pay that.
All right, any other questions before we take a vote? All right, we're gonna do a roll call vote. Counselor Mastroterro,
Yes.
Counselor Gordon,
Yes.
and I am a yes as well. So this is FY 26019. So 2-0. So we're gonna move on to the next one, which is the second parcel, an abutting parcel that's also going into this. And this is order number FY 26-020. The city council moved that be ordered that the Greenfield City Council accepts the land donation of Richard H. and Gloria J. Easton on parcels R 37-530 and R 37-540 to the Greenfield Conservation Commission for conservation purposes, and transfer said property to the Conservation Commission to be named the Conti Gully, and I apologize if I said that wrong, conservation area. All right, can I get a motion?
So moved. Or
Second?
second, whichever.
Yep, perfect. So this is the same situation. I spoke wrong previously in the main packet. It didn't have both parcels, but it does in this order. So this is the other two parcels that they're willing to donate to the Conservation Commission. I doubt we'll have any questions, but if anybody has any, now's the time to ask. All right, we're gonna take a roll call vote then. Counselor Mastroterro.
Yes.
Counselor Gordon,
Yes.
and I'm a yes as well, so both those pass. And you're not involved in the next one because it's planning board, but Travis, thanks for coming.
Yeah.
We appreciate it. That was easy.
Yeah.
Thanks, Travis.
And we appreciate all your hard work too. It's huge for the city. We appreciate it. Moving on to discussions. This next discussion item is review and submit written comments, if any, regarding the surplus property disposition and potential sale of city-owned land on Montague City Road. So in the packet, there's a map of this property.
Mhm.
It's a very narrow property that is kind of wedged between some residential parcels.
Yeah, right.
And the Tognorellis had reached out to see if they could purchase this land because it abuts their rear yard. And
Look, it's just a sliver.
it's just a sliver, yeah,
Yeah,
so
so,
it's basically just sitting there. The town acquired it from what I read in the packet, through tax taking. And now they're just looking to get rid of it. We don't vote on this or anything. It's just open for discussion.
do you know the value or
I,
what the sale price is?
so there was information in this packet.
Let's see here. There it is.
Property card. Montague City Road. Previous owner. Total value $2,600 is what it's assessed at by the town.
Yeah. I don't see any reason to hold on to that.
Yeah, it's kind,
And it's not being given away. Again, we don't know what he's offered to pay the city for it.
I'm sure that's still probably in negotiations between the city and him if it does go through. This is gonna go to the planning board for further discussions. And then from there, we'll get kind of moved on. But what I would recommend to counselors is if you take the time to review the information provided, if you have any questions, you could email them to me and I'll submit a list of questions over to Eric Torog and the mayor. I would just ask that you get me those questions by end of the day Friday.
That sounds good. Thanks, Counselor Healy. It's such a strange parcel.
It really is.
I want to look
It
at the
looks like
map
it
a
was a
little bit more.
driveway. Yeah,
Right.
it looks like it was just a driveway at one point, and then there's this little building back there. So,
And that's where I think his shed is presently on,
mhm.
Joel. That his
Okay.
shed is on that piece of property. If I read that correctly.
Yeah.
So. Who's using it, so we might as well sell it to
So,
him.
yeah, it's not good. There's really no good use. It's such a narrow lot. You don't even have enough frontage probably to build anything back there. So, any other comments on this before I move on?
None from me.
Nothing for me.
Okay, so we got some next meetings coming up. That's the next item on the agenda. So the agenda says September 4th for a joint meeting with the planning board, but right now that's on pause. We're waiting to hear from the planning board, but more than likely this meeting will get moved to the EDC meeting on September 9th. So our next EDC meeting is September 9th at 6:30 PM. And this will likely be a joint meeting with the planning board. Okay, can I get a motion to adjourn? Second?
Second.